recorded. You all have to see the cutest video I just saw. You all have to be the cutest. You all have to see this cutest video. Let's see. Hi.
Babe, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Wrote this on a canvas. Daddy's being serious. Mila, Daddy is being serious right now. Oh my goodness. 2048, how old is she?
25.
Babe, she's gonna have a boyfriend before 25.
Nope. Alright, let's go sign the contract. Alright, let's go.
Oh my goodness. 25 years old, Mila.
It's a pact.
The pack.
Daddy did it. Oh my god.
So these are the things that I see on a daily that makes, that make me really think. That make me really think about the entire sexual reproduction. Come, I thought men were good. I thought boys were good. I thought that you all can raise your sons to be great. How come this guy doesn't want his daughter dating at 15, dating your 15-year-old sons? How come? How come he doesn't think that you can raise your son any amount of good enough for your daughter to be safe with your son? Because he knows men. He knows men. And you have to understand the contradiction that he is in right now. He is a male, right? Who is married to a woman. And he's telling us that males are no good. But he is pretending to be one of those good ones. So which is it? So which is it? So which is it? Is it that no males are good? Is that some males are good? Because if some males are good, how come it's no boyfriend until 2048? How come it's we will find the right guy for you? How come it's not that? How come it's not that? Let's look at all the things that are good for us. Let's look at all of them. Let's look at all of them. Let's see. Eating vegetables. Anyone ever said to you, oh no, don't eat vegetables? Absolutely no vegetables. Anyone ever said to you? Anyone ever said that to you? Absolutely no vegetables? Anyone ever said that to you? Okay, what about walking? What about walking? Walking is good. How come no one ever said to babies, absolutely no walking? Anything that is good for you, how come no one ever says absolutely no until such and such time? How come we didn't do that? Okay, what about being able to talk? What about being able to talk? What about having hands? What about having two functioning hands? Anyone ever said absolutely no hands? These males are no good to us, which means they cannot possibly be part of our biology, except for that they enforce themselves on us. They force themselves on us. And they want us to believe that. It's one thing when it comes to them, just them, exactly like this man. Them, just them is good. Oh, I am the good guy. Out of all of the 4.1 billion males, that is good. Which is why you should be in a relationship with me. No. if you ever dated any other man, no, that's no good. But you should date me because men are no good. Because men are no good, but I am good. I am good, so you should date me. That is the subtext of what they're saying. Men are no good except for me. All men are no good except for me. Oh no, don't have sex. Sex is no good except for me. Except for sex with me. Oh no. If you have any man be inside of you, that is dirty except for me. Every man is dirty except for me. But every man thinks this. Every man thinks this. Which means they all believe every man is dirty. The lies that they're telling us doesn't hold up when they do this. I have never even seen a woman do this. It is men who do this. They tell us they are good, and then in the next breath, they tell us no man is good. I want you to read the comments. Let's read the comments. How come there is no double speak with women? How come you have never ever in your life seen a poster of a man saying no girl until you're 25? How come you have never ever said that? Because women are actually good. Because women are actually good. Even though they tell you, oh, women do the same things, women do this, women do that. But you have never, ever in your life seen a woman set up a poster and say, absolutely no, no girl until you're 25. You have never ever seen a woman do this for their son. No girl until you're 25. You have never seen any man do this for their son and say, absolutely no girl until you're 25. How are you letting these men deceive us like this? If they were good, if they were actually good, this language would not exist at all. These are the tests of logic that they keep failing. These are the tests of logic that they keep failing their own test. They keep failing their own test. They were actually any good. If they were actually good, these messages would not exist at all. These messages would not exist at all. If they were any good, these messages would not exist at all. Because you can be either good or bad. You are either good or you're bad. You cannot be both. It's a lie. It's just a lie that there are any good men out there. There is none. He doesn't believe there's any good men out there. He doesn't believe that your 15-year-old son will be good enough for his daughter. He doesn't think that you can raise any man good enough for his daughter. While they have you believing that some of them are good, that most of them are good, that only some. He believes it's all of them, except for himself. Because how come he thinks all these men are good or no good? How come he is in this home with these two females? He doesn't find himself a home in the cave that fits whatever it is that he thinks men are. That he clearly also is. How come he doesn't find a home in the cave? How come he doesn't find a home in the wilderness? Fit his constitution. He doesn't do that because he doesn't think men are good enough to be around women. He's telling you that men are predators and you need all your senses to be able to deal with them. So how come he doesn't take his predator ass into the wilderness where predators belong? Hmm? He's clearly here preying on this woman. Preying on this woman. Yes, marriage is prey. Marriage is to prey on you. Yes, marriage is to prey on you. The best guy you can find is preying on you because you are not designed to be having sex with them. You are not the thing that they tell you your hole is for their penis. No. That hole is strictly for a child to come out of. Your child, your orthogonal child, your child from parthenogenesis. They designed themselves to fit us, not the other way around. When we were designed, they were not around. Simple getting into bed with this woman that is preying on her. Let's cut comments. Most of it is about the contract. But some of them got what was being said. Some. Every dad on the planet. Every dad on the planet. No, actually, it's not every dad on the planet. Most of them are shitty and they don't bother to do this. These are the ones who actually are decent to their kids, to their daughters. Most of them are not. These are the ones who are actually halfway decent to their kids. Every halfway decent dad does this.
Babe, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Wrote this on a canvas.
And you don't understand that the reason most of them are bad is because they are predators. The reason most of them are bad dads, it's because they are predators. And you understand even less that having a man in your life, right? It continues the process of making you susceptible to male predator. Because one, it conditions you that having them there is normal, right? When it is not normal. Having a man in the home is not normal. Let me repeat that. Having a man in the home is not normal. Because female biology does not include males. Female biology is parthenogenesis. Okay? You are supposed to have your child on your own. Two, it traumatizes you. It traumatizes you because they do so much bad stuff. Because they do so much bad stuff. It makes you vulnerable. The man to be preyed upon. 3, it destroys your mother. By traumatizing your mother, she is unable to give you what you need to be a halfway decent female, to grow up to be the normal female that you are supposed to be. Because the relationship between a mother and a daughter, right? It is something that is automatic, which means that the simple presence of having your mother there, right? And the way your mother would be in a natural way would make you grow up to be a self-confident woman. You would grow up to be self-confident, self-assured, self-sustaining, self-reliant. When your mother is traumatized, she cannot give you all of those things. Or she is far less able to give you those things. The things to interact with you the way she was designed to interact with you in order to make you a self-reliant adult, which makes you what? Which makes you what? Lower in self-esteem. It lowers your self-esteem, which again makes you vulnerable to males. This is the cycle of having a father in the home. It perpetuates this cycle of having a father in the home. Their sons never needed a father. Let me tell you that. Their sons never needed a father because the sons are already predators in their own right. The sons want the father in order to be shown how to be better predators, because now without their fathers they are failing badly. They are failing badly. But if the father was there, they become better predators because they get the same thing, the same reassurance from having witnessed how their father prays. Let's look at this comments. Every dad on the planet. Let's look at the reply here. Right. Haha, protective dads. That sounds like she wrote that. I would like to hear what he thinks based on that comment. And know what men are. Whew, boy, did that nail it on the head. Boy, did that nail it on the head. I mean, women know what women are too. How come we don't get a billboard and say, no girls until you're 25? How come we don't get billboards? How come when we see our sons with girls, we're not worried? Diary of Destiny says 100%. They mess the girls. Men are nasty. Not all men are the same. And here's a man who thinks all men are the same. Because how come the billboard is not saying, when you get to, 14 or so, we're going to find you the right guy to date. How come that's not what the billboard is saying? How come that's not what the billboard is saying? How come it's saying no boyfriend? How come it's saying 0? How come it doesn't say we will find you the right one? Out of the no doubt plentiful good males out there. How come you women are told to believe that it's not all men? But he believes that it is. Which part here does it say not all of them, therefore we will go hunting for the right one? How come when they said this, they don't go, we will choose the right one for you? How come they don't go, how will help you choose the right one? Because we all know that we're supposed to eat food, right? So when the food that we know are supposed to be good for you, when they cause you an allergy, what do? We help you go and choose the right one. That is when we know food are basically good. What do? You go and choose the right foods. How come that's not what they're doing? How come that is not what they are doing? These men know they are no good. These men know that they are no good. I do this thing where when there's a crowd of people or no, not even when there's a crowd of people. When men and women are together, yeah, men and women when they're together, especially with the really pretty and young girls, I observe the men very carefully. I observe them very, very carefully. And 90 out of 10 times, excuse me, out of 100 times, have to hide their feelings because they understand it is predatory. Because they understand that it is predatory. Yeah. They have to hide their feelings. And 100% of the time, I observe women too, so that I can get a comparison of what is supposed to look like when you are with a your own species that you trust, right? That you have an inherent trust of. How are you supposed to actually look? What does that look like? And yeah, women don't have this look at all. Women have not exhibited this look in any way, shape, or form, where they have to feel like they have to hide their inner thoughts because everyone might see that they are predators. I've seen that 90% of men, and that is me being generous. That is still being generous. I watch them carefully, and I watch the women carefully. And it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist with women. And it never seems to stop existing with men. No matter how cool the man seems to be, there's always this behavior of watching the woman from the side of his eye or something, from underneath his lashes, because they know the thoughts that are running through their heads. And let me help you understand what that thought is, based on what they have said themselves, based on the behavior that we have noticed from them. Yes, that thought is to kidnap you and carry you into a cave that you can never come out of. Yeah. Yep. I've witnessed men on at least three separate occasions say this as though it's a biological thing for them. And the reason it matters, even though it's only been like 3 incidents, the reason I know that this is what they're thinking is because they have done this in so many ways already. They have done this very behavior in so many ways. I don't even need any more evidence to know that this is what they are. They have shown this behavior in so many ways already. I only needed those evidence to know that it is a biological thing to them. Because how are you coming up with this idea? Where are you coming up with this idea of kidnapping a woman, of clubbing a woman on the head and taking her to the cave? Where did that come from? In the modern day that you have never, in modern day where you have never ever been in the bronze times, in the bronze age where a club would have been the tool to use, that you are literally thinking as a bronze age male. Tell me where you got that from. 3 separate occasions they have said those words. Hit her on the head, kidnap her into a cave. Those words. This is their biology. All of them. The reason they're coming up with these things is because this is who they are. This is their biology. And I just hope women get it in time. I hope women get this in time. I hope women get this in time before it is too late. These males are only predators. And we are rapidly approaching a time where they would no longer need females, which means there will be no reason for our species to exist anymore. There will be no reason for our species to exist anymore because they never needed us, because they were, because they were never our species. They would kill us females, but not themselves, because we were always different species. I actually wonder if there was ever a time when women did have parthenogenesis, and I do believe that it is. I do believe that there was. I do. I don't know what makes me believe that, but it's just certain things that I've seen, certain things that I've seen that made me believe it. Like for instance, when I've seen videos where someone was talking about sexual, how sex evolved, right? If you listen to those, to that statement, how sex evolved, that means that it didn't exist, as there was a time when it did not exist, which means that what was in its place, because reproduction was still happening. That tells you that it was asexual reproduction that was happening. And the reason we have to ask why sexual reproduction evolved, but not asexual reproduction. Are you guys getting this at all? Why we have to ask why sexual reproduction exists, or how, but never ever asexual reproduction, because asexual reproduction is already self-explanatory. Asexual reproduction makes sense automatically. And we have to ask why sexual reproduction exists, because sexual reproduction, I don't know what's wrong with me today, because sexual reproduction does not make sense on its own. It needs a foundation of something else to make sense. And that foundation is asexual reproduction. That foundation is parthenogenesis. The foundation that sexual reproduction needs to make sense is the foundation of parthenogenesis. And what I discovered when I reviewed some biology of females is that parthenogenesis is inherent in us. It is our default design. It is our default design, which means the males did something to us, and it was the system of which they did, right? The system of which this whole sexual reproduction thing happens. That when I reviewed it, it showed that it's impossible for it to be the default, because it was running a system by which it stops something from happening. Did you get that? It is running on a system by which it stops something from happening, which I'm guessing that thing is the normal behavior of a normal organism, a normal individual of a human species. That by the mere presence of two X's, you would be parthenogenic. That is how it would be the default. That by the mere presence of having eyes, you would see, which means that something typically has to have gone wrong for you to not be able to see. Yeah? Mm-hmm. By the mere presence of ears, you would hear, which means that something would have had to have gone wrong for you to not hear. Or rather, let's say, like you wouldn't see if you put on a blindfold, right? If you have eyes, you would see, and in order for you to not see, you would have to either shut your eyes or you would have to put on a blindfold, right? That was a system that I saw. That is the system by which sexual reproduction was happening. It was a system by which you stop something else from happening. Sexual reproduction is a system by which you stop something else, something inherent, from happening. And I'm desperate for women to get this, to get what I know clearly. I'm desperate for women to understand this. Sexual reproduction is a process by which you stop something else from happening. The part that we know about, that part is after all the things have been stopped. That part are the things that have been stopped. The reason you bleed is because your eggs were not allowed. Something kept your eggs from coming into a baby, from becoming a baby. Something had already stopped it. By the time your eggs are released, something had already influenced them. Something had already influenced them from going forward. By the time your eggs are released, something had already influenced them from going forward, which means that they could not go forward. They could not go forward. So what you're saying is that they could not go forward. What you're saying is the aftermath of whatever it is that they did. It's actually, it's not even whatever they did. It is the thing called lionization. It is the thing called lionization that they did that is the first step of many that is keeping us from having our own babies. It is the first step. And you need to understand something right now. Just last night, I saw a video of some medical miracle science that they were able to make a baby out of two sperms, two babies out of two sperms, which of course it wasn't really out of two sperms because that's impossible. What they did was they took the genes from two sperms and put it into an egg, which means, they put it into an egg. Now you need to understand that the quickest way for any medical miracles would be to figure out this parthenogenesis of women. That would be the quickest miracle. But that's not what they're doing. They're doing everything to do it so that they no longer need us. But they're not doing to release themselves of the bounds of needing us. But they're not doing anything to release us from needing them. Are you guys seeing this? These are the things that you call your kin. These are the things that you call your fellow humans. They don't think of you like that. I don't care how great your husband is. He doesn't think of you like that. Because that is his biology. There is something in us that helps us ID who is our species. And because they look like us, we cannot tell that they're not our species. But we do not look like them because their species is not human. Okay? So they have this thing where they can look at us and know that we are not the same species. They have that. Ours has been off because they are masquerading as us. Ours is on break as long as they look like us. We cannot tell that they're not our species just by looking at them. We cannot tell that they are not our species just by looking at them. But they can tell just by looking at us. They can tell just by looking at us, which means your great husband knows you are not his species. I don't care how good your husband thinks your husband is. He knows you are not his species. And when the time comes, when they start to massacre women because they no longer need us, your husband will participate in it. Or at the very least, he wouldn't even do anything to save you. He will not do anything to save you. Because biology, I don't care I don't care how horrible you think, everything I'm saying is, or how, how messed up you think biology must be to have done all these things and all these disabled people and all these diseases in the world. These are actually because of this crap that they did to us. And I hope to prove that later. Okay? Biology knows what it's doing. Biology knows what it is doing. And it is still on the right track. It is working exactly as designed. Biology is still working exactly as designed because the part of the design of us, not of us, seeing someone with the human phenotype and thinking of them as our species is exactly part of that design. That is exactly part of the design. Then seeing us who is not of their species, because we have the human phenotype and they are not human, then thinking that that is part of the design. That too is part of the design. All the preying on us that's happening, that too is part of the design. That too is part of the design of biology. Biology is working exactly as designed. In every way. Even with this interloping business, it's still working as designed. Which means that it is eternal. Biology does not stop because it is nature. Biology is based on nature. Biology is based on nature, and nature is eternal. So that means that because they are predators, the biology of predation is working exactly as designed. The nature of predation is working exactly as designed, which means there would come a time when our predators will no longer need us and they will discard of us, or they will discard us. They will dispose of us. It's that simple. So either we wake up before that and start to protect ourselves, or we go the way of the dodos. It's that simple. That is the simple math. I am not the one who is making them prey on you. I am not the one who created a history 26,000 long, the last I counted, of men having been preying on women. They did that. Even their own history, as much as they try. This is the cleaned up history. You have to understand, this is their version of history. This is the cleansed version of history. This is the cleansed version of history, the part that they lie to make themselves look good. And every time we uncover the real truth, it is abject demonity, every single piece of it. I'm not the one who made them do that. They are the ones who created this prey-predator dynamic, which means that the only thing that we can do is respond to it. I am telling you the same thing that you have witnessed in nature of what happens between prey and predator. I am simply revealing to you the lies that you have been told. I am simply telling you the things that you are missing in your daily life. I am not telling you anything new. I am not making up anything. I am simply revealing to you the truth that has always existed right under your nose. Prey-predator dynamic, it is nature. And it's going to work exactly as every prey-predator dynamic works, whether you like it or whether you don't. And if you're going to refuse to take these males as the predator that they are, then you need to prepare for your extinction. It's as simple as that. That's it for now.